This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and I am so sorry about this week. So I pulled down the ones I had loaded because I'm like, I want to put up a really cool graphic with it because I'm trying to get ready for September's big unveiling. It's not really that big. It's just that I'm trying to organize it. I thought it would be really cool to like load a graphic, and as soon as I did that, my computer decided to say, I don't like that idea, and so I'm just not going to do it for you. And I don't know what happened to all the videos. Like, I cannot find them. I think it was because I was trying to do something pleasurable, and Venus was up my ass trying to make it not a pleasurable experience because it is in retrograde. Universe, you. Okay, so we're going to adapt, and I'm going to do a weekly. And I am sorry, but I work 10-hour days starting today. And I'm squeezing this in. There is no possible way I can get coverage for my classes. I've already tried. Our sub is subbing for somebody else who's on vacation. And so this is it. This is all I got to give you. But just look at it like, at least I'm doing this. It can get pissy and leave a lot of nasty comments later, but it is with love that I am still trying to prevail and give you what you need really quick before I have a reading and have to go to work. Nothing like a little fire into your ass to get your day going with a lot of momentum. That is what I can say about today. So let's start with Wednesday. I am going to try to organize these to where you guys can click and know where's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that sort of stuff. But we'll see how this works. Just roll with it for once, YouTube. Don't get mad at me and freak out on me. I can only do what I can do with 2 full-time jobs. So, Wednesday, the 26th. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your daily horoscope and energy reading. So, we are still having that South Node in Aries and that Jupiter and Sun in Virgo quincunx going on. And again, I really just want you guys to understand that your ego is playing a big role in how you pursue things, how you identify yourself, how you passionately pursue things. I want you to understand that, okay? Even if you fall, even if you go into some massive issue like I'm having today, you just have to learn to tap into the Virgo energy and adapt. If you don't, you will hit a quincunx. I want you that if something comes up in your ego, I want you to adapt. I don't care if you're fixed. I don't care if you are an Aquarius, a Sagittarius, if you are a Leo, if you are an Aries, you gotta go with the flow. Other people's flow. Okay, you got to relax. You've got to become mutable. I know that it is difficult when you are fixed energy, learning to go with the flow, but you got to do it because that is where the energies are going. It's all going into Virgo and Libra energy. So this is all, if you are a person that is firm in your opinions and you're never going to see other people's opinions or validate them because you feel that you are always right, you are going to have one hell of a ride because the universe does not support fixed thinking right now. That was when all the energy sources were in Leo. But now they're falling into Virgo and they're falling into Libra energy. And when all of the energy shifts like this, you need to shift. Because if you don't, then that's when the energy, it gets really, really difficult and very unpleasant for you. And that's when you fall into this quincunx. So if you are not wanting to expand your thinking, if you are not wanting to adapt to a new way of looking at things and critically analyzing things and setting up routines, then you are going to have a very, very, very difficult time with these energies that are asking you to do that. And why? Why make your life that hard when it's so easy just to learn to just step back? Look, I have an Aries moon and I have five placements in Leo. If it's one thing I know is it is very difficult for me when I feel I'm right to adapt to what I feel is an ignorant opinion. I'm not going to lie. Do I have to at sometimes pull myself back and not need my opinion validated? Yes, I do. And I have learned in old age that that is what you do. You allow people to be people and you allow them to have different perspectives, and you need to flourish and grow from different perspectives. So that can be very, very difficult if you're not used to that. If this is all new energy and it's all pulling you outside your comfort zones and it's all asking you to have a totally ridiculous perspective and look at things the way that you don't feel that it should be looked at, then yeah, quincunx yourself right on out. Good luck with that. We have a moon in Capricorn today, and the good thing about this moon in Capricorn, it is training the North Node in Libra, and it is training Mercury in Virgo. So this moon that is going on in Capricorn, it is a very balanced moon. I want you to understand, if you're looking for a new work routine, if you are looking for to organize your life and look at it from a new perspective to create stability, then your emotional side of this is going to be completely on board with it. And things are going to flow easily. If you are fixed and using your predisposed wiring and you want your old way of thinking to be validated, you're going to quincunx. Understand those two today. Understand you can either have a hard day and you can move forward and you can consider the new energies and their perspectives, or you can fall back on your old ways of thinking and your old coping methods and you are going to quincunx. Obvious choice to me, but everybody lives their own life. They do their own thing. For those of you that get really hung up on your ego and have a hard time letting go of what worked for you, you are going to fall into this Pluto and Capricorn energy squaring off with Uranus and Aries. And so this is going to be, it's almost like you're getting fearful of these changes and these choices within inside yourself, and you're not wanting to let go of them. And that fear is evoking poor coping methods. And in turn, it's causing these unexpected reactions out of others whose egos that you are damaging because you are not considering their perspectives, or it is causing you to have an unexpected revelation maybe, or you are seeing yourself from a different perspective, or flat out you are having an inner war between your fears and your ego to conquer. Like you're weighing these two. Remember, we've got all this Libra energy going on. We've got all this Virgo energy going on. There's a lot of thinking. This is a very, very psychological time for many people. And it's making you think about, if I hold on to my old processes and my old ways of thinking, how validating is that for me? Like, where does that get me in the long run? Lots of people are coming back into your past, or you are thinking about past relationships and you're looking at loss. There's been a lot of loss for a lot of people. Plutonian energy is loss. And how did that affect your ego? How did that hurt you? And create fear of letting others in and letting others know you and learning from your past, and just looking at it is like you were in these karmic relationships that were lessons, and that's all they were. They were destined to fail, and they were destined to be there for temporary, so that you could get to where you are today, so that you could get to where you are tomorrow. It's really not that hard of a concept if you think about that way, because we're trying to make relationships flourish. We're trying to put some balance into your life. We're trying to create new routines that make life smoother for you and more productive and more, think about a day like this. If you never have a really high, you never have a really deep low, right? If you're always here, it's so much more pleasant to deal with. So when something comes your way, you can go, oh, that was really unpleasant, and mentally put it down and analyze it and keep it in perspective. But if you're one of those people that are in highs and lows and highs and lows and highs and lows and always in this roller coaster of like waves, then you don't know how to cope with a high without dropping all the way to a low. So this is where you've got to let go of some of this ego. You've got to let go of some of this perspective that everything needs to be the ultimate high. Because you ultimately fall super low on your ass, as low as it can go. So that's what we're looking at today. There are some of us that are going to experience a little bit of a reality check as far as when the Neptune in Pisces energy comes in. Now, this is just an opposition. I think because Neptune and Pisces is in retrograde, we're seeing a lot more reality than we ever saw before. It doesn't mean that we can handle it, and it doesn't mean that we can process it all that well, but I think we're getting better at it because we have had Neptune and Pisces here in retrograde for quite some time. So, yeah, it's not ideal, and it will be opposing the Sun and Jupiter. So I just think it's trying to expose you without sending you over the deep edge where your deficiencies lie, where you need to take responsibility for, where you tend to escape, where you tend to want to pretend like it's not there. You know, we all do it, and it's actually a really good survival method. You know, if you were to deal with if you were stuck in a prison and you were in that prison for years, and if you just knew your outcome was always to be in prison, you would just die, right? But if you had the delusion that you were at some point going to go out, and I saw this amazing story in 2020, all he thought about was seeing his wife again because he was locked in a Mexican prison. Well, he was kidnapped and he was locked in his captors had locked him away and just not fed him, and it was horrible. And all he could think about was his wife's banana pancakes, that he was going to eat them again, and that he was going to come home to his wife. And that's all he could think about. That's all he could fixate on. And day after day, he sat there in that box and just in the heat and had no way to keep his mind going in a right direction. It takes delusion to keep you optimistic and hopeful. That's why this is in opposition and it's not in a quincunx today. It's because you need the delusion that life is going to get better and that energy is going to get better and that this quincunx energy is going to pass. I mean, you need that optimism to keep you going. You need to learn how to face your reality. I mean, but in small doses, it can't be so much reality that your life just all of a sudden goes from perfect to not perfect, because some of that's happening to people, and it's very hard, and that's that severe quincunx that you guys are experiencing. For many of you, this week is going to be about a whole different energy, and I'm so happy to say it because there are some people that are going to be stuck, still fighting, still trying to seek balance, still trying to set firm boundaries with others, especially people from your past and especially friends, especially regarding childhood issues. You're working through a lot. There's a lot you're taking on. So those people have the quincunx, the square, and the opposition energy. That doesn't mean that they're bad people because they have that. It just means that the universe is focusing on those people. For the other people, they are going to have some obstacles removed by Saturn. Saturn is in an excellent mood this week. Excellent. And it is going to be sextiling the moon in Capricorn, which means if you are setting up routines that will get you ahead in your career, life path, destiny, completely supported, and obstacles will be removed, right? If you are trying to create stable routines in your life that will provide you with ascension, then those are all completely supported and sextiled, which means that a rocket has been launched, the fire's been set, and you are about to take off in those energies, and it's going to be an amazing week. If you are seeking balance and you're seeking routines that get your body to have a health balance and your mind to have a mental well-being balance, then all of that is being supported. Great time to set off routines in the fact that you want to have, if you need, it's a great time for meditation. If you're not a person who sets aside time for meditation and rituals that create peaceful times, even if it's just a cat nap and you don't believe in meditation, even if it's a cat nap for like 15 minutes to restore your mental faculties and keep you in a quiet place and to envision something positive before you close your eyes, that is all completely supported this week. So that is the sextile energy that you could have today. Energy goes where your attention flows. So if your attention is flowing on all this negative concuncts energy, you're feeling sorry for yourself that you grew up the way you did, you're very ego-based and ego-oriented, you need just to feel good about what happened to you, there's been a lot of revelations, and then you're seeking immediate gratification, then the energy is going to go there, right? But it's going to go, and Jupiter's going to expand that thinking. So it's going to make you feel more sorry for yourself. It's going to make you feel more out of control. It's going to make you feel, if you're sad, really sad and depressed, and it's going to expand poor coping methods because you need immediate gratification. So it's going to expand that need for immediate gratification. It's going to expand the issues in your mind because this is in Virgo energy. So it can go there, or it can go in ascension, positive routines, health, new ways of eating, new ways of thinking. It can expand all of that in a really positive direction. Anyhow, guys, that is your daily reading for Wednesday, and I will be back for your daily reading for Thursday. I will be back to talk about Thursday. Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your daily, combined into a weekly, reading for Thursday the 27th, and Mercury moves into Libra today. Big, big, big energy shift. Very excited about this energy shift. Now, the reason I like this energy shift is because the North Node in Libra and Mercury in Libra are both going to be conjunct at 0 degrees. So, I want to talk about that because if this is a new, anytime anything is in 0 degrees, it is in a developmental stage in that degree. So it just means that you're coming up with the concept of how to do this. You have not explored how to do it. You have not took the time to, or the energy to develop firm processes. You're in the development stage. So things could be revealed to you that help you understand where some deficiencies lie, so you can take that where your life is at an imbalance, because Libra represents balancing energy, and it can take a look at that area. You can focus on it, and you could think, wow, I can change that particular area and make it a better outcome, right? By just stepping back, removing some emotion, and taking a look at it and think, it's bad, but I can change it, right? So we have that today. The 10th house today is going to be aspected. It has been a lot. When the energy shifts, a lot of energy fires into your first and your 10th house. I've been noticing that, especially when it's at that 0.0 degree mark. So your 10th house is in your career, life path, destiny. And right now that in this day is going to be in Cancer. That tends to make me believe, because the 10th house is going to be quincunxing Saturn and Scorpio, that many of you have a fear of moving forward, of changing your environment, of changing your home and family dynamic, a fear of a new perspective on the way that you look. There's so much change going on, and when energy is in Cancer, that makes you want to hide and regress and go somewhere where it's safe and fall, even if it means falling into poor coping methods. At least those are familiar energies. And so even in the past, even if you have familiar people from your past or familiar energies from your past, it still makes you want to fall back to those people or those situations that accepted you for exactly who you are, as dysfunctional as you are, still exactly who you are. It makes you want to fall back, and that will quincunx Saturn and Scorpio, which we all know you don't want to piss off Saturn and Scorpio. Ugh, not a good energy to piss off. I hate that energy when it is in an unpleasant mood. I would prefer to tap into the energy in that same house that is sextiling Jupiter in Virgo and sextiling the Sun in Virgo. What this means to me is that if we're ready to set up new routines in how to get where we want to, especially in home and family, but in our career, life path, destiny, like if we can get our brain on board with the fact that change is inevitable and it is not scary, it doesn't make us want to go hide. It doesn't make us want to seek familiar chaos in order for us to feel safe. Sorry, I had to switch my butt cheeks. One was going numb. It's terrible. So if we can sit there and we can take a look at it, we can think, I do need to change my outlook. I need to change how I relate to things and people and my ego. And if I could really just wrap my head around that, then you're going to have lovely sextiles. And remember, sextiles is the ultimate energy that we want to tap into. So when you meditate, you really want to tap into this energy of like Virgo energy and this 10th house energy if you're going to meditate today. Because what that says to me is there could be an awakening in some sort of work routine that makes you feel safe, makes you feel secure, it makes you feel stable enough to support your family, and for it to be an accountable energy, meaning it doesn't hurt that you need to feel supported, like you're going to be safe when you're making all these changes. There is so much change being thrown at you at such an incredible degree that, of course, you need to have a certain amount of mental peace associated with this. So don't look at it as like you're weak. Look at it as like you're trying to make sense out of energy right now that doesn't make sense, because it is not a process for you. It's not a routine for you. It's not a ritual for you. So just open yourself up to all this Libra energy and try to find a balance in the fact that when you're making these changes, they're not scary. They're not out of control. They're not something that's irreversible and causes fear within inside yourself. You don't want to think that way. You want to think about change is good. You want to associate your brain. Look, I can't think of anybody right now that is truly 100% completely satisfied with their life on every level. At some level, there's a change somebody wants to make. And that change in that particular area is for the better, right? So you just got to think that way. Now, Mars in Leo and Venus in Leo are still conjunct. They're still doing their dance together. So this is just wanting to feel like your passionate old self, like you did when you were a kid, and you just want to feel, I don't know, enthusiasm, and you want this childhood energy to come back and fill you up. And it would be such a lovely, lovely aspect if it wasn't always opposed. It's been opposed a lot. So I think it's a lovely energy to concentrate on, but you have to understand that you want this passion and this love to come back into your life, but you are in fear. You are. And that is this quincunx and Pluto Capricorn energy. You're in fear of something heart-based, something that has to do with love. If some of you were once bitten, twice shy, then you don't want to fall in love again. I don't. I have no desire. I absolutely refuse to be in love again. Like, that is just my personal concept. I think it makes me weak, and I have mental peace and I have balance. I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let go of the grasp of inviting somebody into my life to cause chaos again and hurt me ever again. Like, I don't want it. And so I am in that Plutonian quincunx, and I feel it. Like, there are opportunities that I have that, if I explored them, probably could lead to a very loving or at least a friendship. But I have fear, and my fear is stronger than the need for love. My fear is stronger than the need for that change in my life yet. And so I think those people are really feeling this emotional tug of war to the past and what happened to us, and how we are inevitably in charge of our own fate, but yet we have this predisposed wiring that tells us that we are not worthy of love, or that we can't have a successful love affair ever again, and that we're non-deserving in some way. And I think that some of us are having that pull. I know I am, but that's just my personal journey. But it's in here. Like, I think in order to take this quincunx and make it into an opposition, I think you need to tap into the moon in Aquarius that is opposing this conjunction. And you need to emotionally detach a little from the fear that you have and analyze the fear and look at it for what it is. It's a fear. It's a psychological fear. It's something that your brain has created so that you never go through that particular type of pain again. Your brain associated pain with love and childhood and unions and partnerships and creativity. I mean, you've been disappointed and hurt, and you've went through a lot. And so there's a lot that you have to work through, and this Plutonian energy is really digging at you a little bit this week. So don't let it. See it for Plutonian energy. See it for the fact that it's creating some instability in your life, and take all of this, this Mars heart-based energy and put it into emotionally detaching, finding ways to emotionally stabilize yourself so that you can take a look at everything, analyze it, and come up with better processes for how you deal with these disappointments. Some of you, it may be great for you to think about therapy. Absolutely. At this point, because you want to analyze. This is such a great, if any of you guys are open to therapy, I can't even think of a better time to initiate therapy, because you will absolutely get the desired result that you want from a therapist if you initiate right now, because it's a great time to explore your psychological processes and to set up a healthy mental well-being routine. Oh my gosh, initiate now if you are. So one of the things that you may be surprised is that you may see people for the enemies that they are. And this could be people from your past. This may be something unexpected that comes up, that you just start to understand that these people that you thought were friends, or these people that you thought that loved you, just probably never did. And that's painful and that's unpleasant, but that's reality. You are finding that you are being faced with reality. Isn't it so much better to see the wolf in sheep's clothing than to get ate by that wolf in sheep's clothing. Like, you're starting to get all of that. That's starting to all come to you. And you want to have some conversations about this accountability. And you could be quite unexpected to the people from your past. You could just come out of the blue and sideswipe these people and say, you know what, you did this, and I see you for who you are now. And this wasn't right that you did this stuff to me. And you may make some powerful stands in holding people accountable, using some of this Libra-based energy to hold people accountable for the injustices that they have done to you, your family, and to your psyche. So today's it's just an interesting day. It can be a very easy, breezy day too. It can be just a day full of nothing, like you could just try it out, and you could fall back on an old friend who accepts you for just who you are, the dysfunctional person that you may be at this time, and you could just, I don't know, try it out and not even deal with any of this if you really want to. I mean, that's completely here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I see it. But I never like focusing on that, because I'm trying to get you guys to stop doing your south node wiring and to start ascending to your north node. I'm trying to get you guys to see that there is balance in perspective. There is balance in inner peace. There is balance to be found in what happened to you when you were a kid versus what's going on with you in an adult. Like, yes, you may have had a tragic childhood, and you may have had a high at a point in your adulthood, but we want to get here where we're not really high, we're not really low, we're just like, again, adaptable and balanced. Again, I'm going to say it again. Anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in to Thursday, and let's get started on Friday. Hi guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your daily horoscope combined into your weekly for Friday the 28th. And so we have a moon in Aquarius, and this Aquarian moon it's a very fixed moon. It likes to be here. It thinks it has it all figured out, and it's debatable, and it doesn't want to really listen all that much to what everybody has to say, especially when it comes to your friends. If your friends are giving you perspectives, if your friends are starting to give you advice and you don't really want to take their advice, it's starting to make you feel fired up. This is a very fiery moon, right? And so it can make you stubborn and idealistic about your situation versus wanting to face it. This is where today you could have an opposition. Now, I love it. I did not say quincunx. Quincunx is coming next. But I did say opposition. And that is because if you can detach emotionally from what somebody's saying to you, and they're trying to give you some pearls here, the people that are coming into your life, especially when it comes to friends, are giving you different perspectives. And this is very, very crucial for you to listen to. I can't emphasize enough that you just listen to people, because others mirror where our deficiencies lie. So if somebody's coming up and giving you, and if you're getting a lot of input about the way you are, then you got to take a look at it and think, yeah, I kind of am that way. You've got to. You have to. So, that right now, the moon in Aquarius is going to be in opposition with Jupiter and Venus. This means to me that you need to have some healthy routines. And I'm sure at this point, it is becoming increasingly aware to you that you do. I don't care if it's just you've gained a lot of weight and somebody points it out and you just need to start to think about something healthy. I don't care if it's, I wish we could work out together because, I really have fun, or I wish we could go hiking, or I wish we could go biking, but, you're too heavy and your knees hurt you all the time. I think it's time for you to lose weight. Or if it's a friend that comes up to you that says, you know what, you have a problem with an addiction, or you have a problem with how you relate to your partners, and, or you could have past relationships coming back trying to get reconnect with you, but there's an obstacle that's standing in your way, listen to all of this, because then it can just be an energy that's in opposition. You can just take a look at it, validate them, and go, okay, I definitely need to work on that. And, I just need to set up some good routines. And they can probably, the people that are coming into your life are probably karmically coming into your life to help you help yourself. And they're exposing you to the ways that you are unhealthy. This is good news, because sometimes we don't always see where we're lacking or where we need to work on things. Sometimes we don't always know. I know that I didn't know forever I was an empath. I just didn't know. I just believed what everybody told me at the time. And so I just didn't accept that I thought that I felt everything. I was crazy. And it wasn't until a bunch of people started coming into my life talking about being an empath that I researched it and obsessively researched it. And then it became validated through some psychologists that are intuitives as well. And so then I had the data, that Virgo data, to help me accept a new mental concept. That's what you kind of are having to do right now. There's the people that are coming into your life are there because they are substantial people. There's a reason why you are being drawn to the past relationships that you are, because they're supposed to make a substantial impact in you, even if it's for you to make the same mistake with that person, and for your previous relationship to have told you that. You correlate the two and you're like, oh my God, it is me. Like there's that sort of stuff going on. If you do that, then Neptune and Pisces is going to oppose these same energies, the Sun and Jupiter. So you're going to become unconscious of some of the unconscious ways that you escape and cope, and some of the unconscious ways that you sabotage a happy ending for yourself. Opposition. Remember the word opposition. It's energies that are here that want to go here. They want to meet in the middle. So these are energies, guys, that you can utilize two energies to get a result, right? How much power do you think it is to just have one energy to back you? Or how much power do you think it is to have two energies stimulate and back you to make that positive outcome? That's a big deal. That's a lot of energy wanting to get you going in the right direction. So I don't want you to fall backward too far. Now, these relationships and these focuses that are these childhood issues, everything that's going on that's pointing us back into the past, is going to evoke a Plutonian response to the fear that we feel, right? We feel fear at this point. It's for some of us, it's just downright fear. And it is causing us to want to escape and fall into poor coping methods. And our issues are going exponentially out of control. And because Jupiter is expanding the ways, our faults in our thinking, right? Or it is creating fear, making us validate it so that we can start to know where we need to transform. I like to look at quincunxes that is just pointing in a direction that we need to focus and transform that area, right? Definitely fear needs to be addressed this week. Absolutely. I'm sorry if my stomach is growling, but I seriously haven't even got to eat this morning. I'm starving. You know what I'm having? A banana and some crunchy peanut butter. That's what I'm having, and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, I can't stop thinking. Sorry. So we have this Pluto and Capricorn energy quincunxing Mars and Venus. So if you are in a power struggle with the way that you want to move forward, but you keep getting sucked back into the past, I think there's something you need to learn from what's going on in your past. If there's an issue that keeps coming up that's past related, I would address it, because energy is pointing you in that direction. So there's got to be a reason. If a person keeps coming back from your past, there's a reason why that relationship is coming back from your past. if anything, it's something that you karmically need to learn, right? Or worst case scenario, it's somebody that can help put you in the right direction and give you the shove in the direction that you need to go. But it is I see it being very positive. Now, so let's take a look at that and really, truly think about this. The sun in Virgo is going to be quincunxing your North Node in Aries. So what does that mean? Again, I'm thinking that if some of you, this is going to affect the people that, for some of you, if you're struggling with your innermost desires, right? And you're trying to build the character that lies within you, and you've been having problems dealing with that. You've been having problems with re-identifying your morals and your values and your ethics and the attention that you seek and how you maintain your ego. And this is a lot to deal with. You're wanting to fall back on predisposed wiring, but predisposed wiring, your southern wiring, isn't being supported. Not at all. So that is not, you're going to experience quincunxes. These quincunxes cause severe rifts within inside us so that we know where to focus. We need that jolt, that unpleasant feeling associated with our south node wiring to want to change that area, right? So I think it's actually a really good thing that we're experiencing some of these quincunxes because, sorry, that hair is driving me crazy. We just need to know where we need to develop positive routines. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, if our predisposed wiring has been leading us on the wrong path, then we need to know where the right path is. I think when this happens, however, I think what can happen is Pluto and Capricorn can come in and square off with Uranus and Aries. So I want you guys to figure out, where do you lose your personal power? What? You have to ask yourself this question. There's too much pointing you in this direction to know. For me, I know it's in love. I know that I'm a train wreck in love. I know that I grew up having a narcissistic father, and so every single relationship I've ever had, now that I understand it all, thanks to this little stinking Saturn BS that I've been going through lately, is made me understand that I have a childhood issue that I need to work through, I need to deal with. And until I get that under control, I'm going to pick these narcissistic people because I am a codependent. These are things I had to learn through this transit. That is where I lose my power. I lose my power in relationships. I lose my power to stand up and create healthy boundaries. I have to face this, and it is hard and excruciating and difficult. And probably there are days that I just avoid it. I don't even friggin' deal with it. I think, well, you know what? I don't even have to fall in love, and then I never have to deal with it. Simply if I don't have a guy in my life, I won't have a problem, right? But that's avoidance. That's not happiness for the rest of your life. So I think you need to figure out where you lose your power. And I don't care if you don't have that problem, then if love is not in your issue, then maybe it is the fear of going out and choosing a career, life path, destiny and creating stability in your life. It is a fear of making a change, leaving a partner that is not a healthy partner and going out and finding a new beginning. Maybe that is a fear for you. Maybe there are some deep-seated unconscious wounds that you don't even know that are starting to bubble to the surface, and you're having nightmares and you just don't know why. These are things that you have to explore, and this is the perfect time for that. These are places that you lose your personal power. And so you could have something unexpected happen today that is like an epiphany. It's very forward thinking, it's Oh my, it's like when I figured out that my dad was a narcissist. When I figured out that my relationships have been narcissistic. I went through a severe emotional situation because of that, because I was like, it is my fault because I'm picking them. It was very hard to face. And now I'm okay with it. Now it's like, that's old news. I've been dealing with that for a while now. But that happened to me when Saturn came back first into the Scorpio transit. And I've processed it and I've actually accepted it. And now that I know where I fall, I know how to watch for where I fall. That just is such an empowering feeling. That's not, at first it was difficult, but now it's not. So that is why there are the people that are like me, I feel, that are caught in this Saturn and Scorpio sextile, where we are feeling empowered now. We actually have enough pain associated with our South Node wiring and our childhood issues and where our deficiencies lie, to want to ascend, to want to make changes, to want to do the hard work that it takes, to want to suffer through the ascension symptoms and to ascend and to feel better about this. This is why we're doing this. We have tomorrow a full moon, and this is Saturday. I know you guys are probably going to be watching this, so I'm talking about on Saturday. There's going to be a full moon in Pisces, and it is going to be conjunct with Neptune in Pisces. So, and it's a super moon. It's a powerful moon. And I have to tell you, from a Cancer's perspective, anybody who's ruled by the moon, this is going to be a super psychological, psychic, intuitive moon. And so I'm making a video solely based on this complete this moon, because I am so attached to the moon cycles, because of course I am I'm a Leo on the cusp of Cancer, and all my primary degrees are in Cancer. So I really identify with what this moon has to say and speak about. So I'm giving you guys a whole video on that. So I'm not going to tie it into this one because it needs its own video. This week is beautiful. These next 3 days are going to make or break you. But if they break you, you'll eventually be put back together again. Don't be so scared. We have Chiron working in harmonious aspects to try to get our psychological processes back and try to get us healed. We have the moon being supported by Neptune in Pisces. All this Pisces energy trying to heal our psychological wounds. These are powerful times that if we want to face, look, ignite energy when energy is being supported. Right? It's really hard to work on changing things and manifesting a new way of thinking when that energy is not supported. Because then sometimes you can fall into quincunxes in that energy, but we don't have that right now. What we have is lots and lots of powerful energy sources in transformation, in healing psychological wounds, in exploring our childhood issues. We have it dive deep into the unconscious realms, explore, be a fish and flop around and enjoy the depth of your mind. And then if you get out of the water and you got a bunch of sludge attached to you because you were diving too deep, then you go and you take a shower and you wash it off, right? And you set up new routines and you get back on health mentally, you get back on board mentally and physically, and you set up some regimens and you conquer these beasts. And look, It is very difficult for me to face all the things I faced about myself with this Saturn and Scorpio transit. I hear all of you are telling me the same thing. So it's not just me. It's not just, I'm not being ego-oriented here. A lot of people are having these revelations. This has been a extremely difficult transit for all of us, and all of us cannot wait for Scorpio to move back into Sagittarius. Much more beautiful place for it to be. Much more, I think it's a harmonious place for it, and it will allow us to control some of the ways that we think and elevate our learning. And it's such a beautiful place. But for now, we have to face the fears. Again, this is a time to explore that. Energy is all right here. It's like we've been in the desert for a really long time, and we come across this mirage. And do we think it's a mirage? The fear is it's a mirage. The fear is it's one more mirage that we have to go through, and psychologically, when we go up to it, be disappointed that it's a mirage and it's not water that we need, right? And as soon as we get up to it, it's so real, we're almost afraid that it will shatter the illusion in our head because we feel it's real. But as we get up to that mirage, it gets a little bit cooler right there, and we're so fearful to be disappointed that we don't want to keep going because we can't make it through another disappointment that it's a mirage. We can't live like that. So we're almost fearful, and that's where we're at right now. Think about that. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to make a separate Saturday video. It is coming, but for now, I'm going to leave you with this combined weekly video, and I will talk to you guys again on Saturday.